Hey everyone. So if you're an early years provider, you know that an Ofsted inspection is a pretty big deal. But listen up, because starting in November 2025, the whole process is getting a major overhaul. We're talking about a huge cultural shift, moving towards a much more collaborative approach. So in the next 5 minutes, we're going to break down exactly what that means for you and your setting.
This quote right here, this is basically the whole story in one sentence. The new key phrase is professional dialogue. This isn't about someone coming in to deliver a judgment from on high anymore. No, it's about a two-way conversation. And honestly, this one idea is what the entire new framework is built on.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the big picture shift, this new era for inspections. Then we'll get practical and walk through what happens before they arrive, the call, and what the day itself looks like. We'll also cover the 3 core principles that guide absolutely everything. And then we'll wrap up by breaking down that new grading scale.
So, what is this new era all about? Well, the goal is to stop thinking about inspections as this high-stakes pass-fail test and start seeing them as a supportive evaluation. It's really designed to celebrate your strengths, to validate what you're already focusing on, and to pinpoint where improvements can be made. And the best part? It's all done by working with you, not just inspecting you.
And holding this all together are 3 simple but really powerful principles. For everything you do, for every policy you have, inspectors are going to be asking, are the children achieving? Do they feel like they belong? And are they in a place where they can truly thrive? Keep these 3 words, achieve, belong, thrive, in your head, because you're about to see how they connect to absolutely everything else.
All right, let's get practical. How does this collaboration actually work? It all starts with your very first point of contact, the call. First, you'll get a quick notification call, but then that's followed by a much longer, more detailed planning call that's really meant to set that collaborative tone right from the very beginning.
This planning call, it's about 30 minutes long, and it's broken down into 3 super clear parts. It kicks off with the basics, introductions and practical stuff. Then it moves into a really crucial conversation about your unique settings context. And finally, you'll work together to plan the timetable for the inspection day. See, it's designed to understand you, not to catch you out.
This call is your golden opportunity to tell your story. I mean it. The inspector genuinely wants to hear about your specific situation, your journey, what you're trying to achieve with your curriculum, and even how you see your own strengths and weaknesses. So really, don't think of this as an interrogation. It's your chance to frame the whole inspection from your perspective.
All right, now we're moving on to the inspection day itself. And that focus on dialogue, it continues all day long. The whole vibe is meant to feel less like a traditional formal inspection and more like a day of joint observation and thoughtful, reflective chats. The number one rule on the day is authenticity. Inspectors are not looking for a big performance put on just for them. They really want to see the real, day-to-day, normal experience of the children in your care. They want to understand your setting as it actually is, warts and all.
So what does this collaboration actually look like in practice? Well, it's built around activities just like these. And the language itself tells you everything you need to know, right? You're doing shared observations. You're discussing samples of children's experiences, and you're having ongoing reflective discussions. It's all about working together. So all this collaborative work, all this evidence gathering, what's it all for? Well, it's to build a really clear picture of your setting across 7 key evaluation areas. And you guessed it, all of them link straight back to those core principles: achieve, belong, and thrive. These 7 areas are kind of like the formal pillars of the inspection. Think of them as the different lenses the inspector will use to build that complete, holistic view of your setting. Everything from your safeguarding culture to your curriculum connects back to whether children can achieve, belong, and thrive. The goal is to see how it all works together.
Let's use safeguarding as an example to see how this really plays out. To get a MET grade, it's not enough to just have policies sitting on a shelf. It's about having a living, breathing, open culture where everyone feels responsible. Now, contrast that with not MET, which is defined by serious failures or leaders who just aren't open to being challenged. The difference is all about culture and impact, not just paperwork.
So after all that evaluation, it's time for the final grade. And guess what? This has changed too. The new framework introduces a much more nuanced 5-point scale, which is designed to give a way clearer picture of where your setting is at.
So here it is, the new spectrum. It goes all the way from urgent improvement right up to exceptional. What this does is it allows for a much finer distinction between settings.
It recognizes places that are meeting the expected standard, but also those that are demonstrating really strong practice, and even those that are truly exceptional.
Let's check out inclusion to see how this works. To hit the expected standard, you need to identify kids' needs quickly and accurately. But to get to that strong standard, you have to swiftly identify barriers, and your support has to be skillfully adjusted. You can see it's a really clear step up, both in what you do and the impact it has.
And finally, we come full circle right back to where we started. Dialogue. That final feedback session, it's not a verdict. It's a constructive discussion that should validate your own self-evaluation, celebrate your successes, and make sure there are absolutely no surprises in that final report.
So, when you boil it all down, this new framework is so much more than just a set of rules. It's actually a tool. It's your opportunity to have that professional dialogue and really show off the incredible work you do every single day. So the real question is, how are you going to use it to tell your story?